Hello, everybody. Well, let's talk about our plan for today. I have some questions, and for today, we have 72 questions in our question form. We'll start with these questions. If it goes very quickly, then I'll probably be able to answer questions that appear online. So I would ask some of my co-moderators to collect the questions that we're getting. It will take us probably an hour and a half. I would love to say it's just an hour, but it never happened that I answered all the questions during only 60 minutes. Let's go straight to the point to sort it out better, to answer it, and probably we will be able to answer some questions from the chat. Thanks for being with us today. We're happy that you're with us, that you are listening to us. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being active. And the first question is, how many users are at the moment? And it would be interesting to see intermediary results. I will open statistics right now. The holders of NFT, 6,900 people, but you should understand that holders usually from one users, they move to the other users. So according to the statistics, about 120, 170 new users appear in the application. They have NFT, but some of these NFT, they buy from their users who were already in the project. So as for holders, the growth is 70 to 80 users. And as for registered, I would say 120 to 200. That's the picture recently. And I would say this is the main statistics that I can share. What else? On market, the turnover is 7,648 BNB. In the last 24 hours, 250 BNB, and this is 175 sneakers. This is of the latest data that is open, and you shouldn't be a great expert. It's enough to see the contract of the sneakers, to check best care scan and check the number of holders. Checking number of holders, you can see how many accounts store these sneakers. What's happening now? I would say there is kind of a redistribution of the users who entered in the initial level and who are joining now. I'd say that the number of holders grows plus 50 to 60 holders per day. Next day, I want to be a member of your team. How to do it? Well, that depends who you want to be, what are your special skills. If you want to be a moderator, you should be active in the chat box, help other participators without moderator status. If you are already expert in many questions, if you are in this project, in this field, if you help a lot, you can become a member of the moderator team. So in the chat where you want to be a moderator, start helping others. Just a common user helping others. Most of the moderators passed this way and they became moderators as this. If you see a different role for you, you can write to the joint chat and tag me, or you can write to me in Telegram, describe your skills and explain what is your value for our project. And then we will resolve it all individually. My next question, it's a request to make a marketplace to see basic parameters on activation on the whole page of the search, not sneaker by sneaker. Yes, I do agree that there should be some filter for basic parameters. It's a great adventure for marketplace, but you see that we change marketplace quite rapidly. We made filter for Genesis. Within a week, we added a sign of Genesis. Then you see that in the card of this sneaker, you can see the basis. And to make a filter, it just requires some time. It will not take us all long. I think we will do it. We will definitely do it. When, I cannot tell you the precise date because we have other issues to cope with. And when we finish it, we will go back. Or we improve market all the time. It's not a difficult task, so it will happen very soon. How many sneakers should I have on my account to become VIP chat member? I'm not sure about precise information because it was not me who was sending out the emails. But I'm sure that there are people who have 9 to 10 boxes or sneakers, and there are I'm not sure if there are people who have less than 9 or 10. So you have to have 9 or 10 sneakers to enter the chat box. You can ask it in the chat, and there are users who are in the VIP chat, and they will help you with this information. The moderators also can try to process this question and come back. Next question. What changes are planned to enroll new audience into the project? Well, there is a wording. What changes? What changes? I don't think it's quite correct because even what was planned, we are implementing, we are launching it step by step. We're implementing, we're launching it step by step through onboarding. It was not a comfortable model, it didn't work, and we changed it during a week using website activation. It is a change, and all the other stories when the bloggers get some marketing accounts where the sneakers do not belong. Well, different bloggers do it differently. It can happen that account belongs to us, but the blogger can use it. They can take AMT, but they cannot sell the sneakers. And this blogger can issue activation codes. At the moment, we have the model being realized when the bloggers can share with their audience activation codes. It is important for us because thus we follow the conversion. It is important for the project that we have some statistics, some data about the efficiency of all the directions. Statistics is not very fast to get. We do everything that is planned, but it is not very fast. It is not as fast as some people expect. If you were at the sessions that were organized before the launching of the project, we mentioned it several times that it is not our idea that everybody starts shouting, we are activating all the flows right now and here. We are expecting for different type of integration, somebody or this account, somebody take the leasing, overseas market are also included. We look for people who will video record the reviews. I cannot say that we need changes here. We need time to implement, to follow the plan. We just need time to follow our plan step by step, I cannot say that there is some problem that must be changed. The story with this collection of the scores was not correct, and we changed it. In the moment we think that the model is correct and it is to be continued, it is to be upgraded, and we follow the model that has been chosen. It works, and it works well. The next part of the question is to the demand declines, mint is not good, and everybody goes to the farm coins. According to our internal statistics, the number of the deals does not decrease, it increases. And the number of the sneakers for sale is growing, and the number of the sneakers for sale grows faster, and it's absolutely normal that mint is not always good. You have to understand it. If your mint is always good, let's presume that your mint is always advantage, it's always beneficial. Let's presume mint that is always beneficial, and let's presume we have 72 hours limits for an account. That means that 1/3 of the sneakers will mint. We have 20,000 sneakers, and if 1/3 mint, 6,000 to 7,000 sneakers will mint every 72 hours. That means that every 3 days 3,000 will appear, and well, when new 3,000 appear, it would be 23, then even more. Just calculate this. Just calculate it, and if you see, and you will see that if mint is always beneficial, if mint is always profitable, you will see that, wow, you need to realize 2,000 sneakers per day, for example. And you will be shocked. You would say, is it possible? Is it possible? You would say. And people expect some fast growth, and it was not something short. We want it to be long term. It's not about that we are happy that everything is growing and in 2 months is just wrapped up. We don't like this idea. We want to have it long term. We adopt different issues and we changed it. And when we check other projects, if you check the first few months, you'll see that in the market, everything can help. For example, play to earn, X Infinity. If you check the story and the history of this project, it was not profitable to mint because the price is very high and the commission of it was not in line with the rest. So the commissions were significant. So can you imagine it? Can you imagine it? But then this project became very popular. It moved to its own blockchain, and it turned out to be very good. And still at the market, they have certain turnover. I think it's a good result. And we cannot say that mint should be always profitable and always very profitable. I have seen today in one of the chat box, it was said that one mint should provide half of BNB. And they were just thinking, what's that? Even let's imagine every 72 hours we have BNB. If the mint if the mint is 0.8 BNB, how you can get 0.5 BNB? What are these expectations about? And I don't think that Mint is great. I don't think Mint works 100%. You use the application, you have this possibility once per 3 days, you go through your wallet on the site, you push 3 buttons, and you have Mint. If it provides 10 to 20%, it's already enough. But to say that the revenues should be 50 or 100%, I think it's not good. It's impossible. And the math of the project will not be efficient. It doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this. I would love it to be like this, but it doesn't. Market lives its own quite organic, I would like to say, life. And if it's not profitable, farm a net, farm coin. If it happens, Mint can become more profitable. It's kind of cycle story when we go in cycles. When the price decreases to a certain level, it becomes again interesting. We see certain growth. Then there is some extensive volume. It is not that interesting, but the economy itself, the liquidity of the project grows, and you do not see the moment where it increases. Probably it's token. I don't want to say that Mint is always unprofitable. According to my calculation, Mint is positive now. If you calculate all according to core price, then it's not correct. You have to calculate average expectation, and the average expectation, good parameters are, coaches are, the average expectation is always longer than 4 that you calculate. And if you calculate according to the floor, then probably the users who calculate according to the average, they will get still this 10 to 20% that you don't take into account in your own calculation. Of course, there would be some issue, some situation when floor grows and Mint becomes profitable even according to the floor. And it is about 0 level. It's normal. This is just the mechanics. When at the beginning of the project, it grows, it develops, and it kind of controls its uncontrolled growth. Next question, are there some terms where chips will be implemented and launched? Well, implementation of chips. I would not say it would be faster than in a month, because it is a process that we already launched, but it would be first tested on beta testing. First, we will put chips into the test. We have to draw it all, we have to try it. Chips also would be on the blockchain, on market, on your wallets, and they will require their own contracts. So it is a multi-level. It is a multi-level developing. We will first test it on beta, and then we will start use it. If it happens faster, great. But objectively, but for chips, we have lots of other work that is associated with some that you will probably put into the next questions. There are issues when statistics is not saved. There are issues with authorization, when login and password are not stored and it's not comfortable. And of course, we want it to be more comfortable for our users. And I think these are things with higher priority. It is in place, and there are problems that our users face. So we will first need to remove all the issues that our users face, and then we will implement something new, because implementation of something new can also evoke some issues. And the other important issue that is not probably obvious for you, but it takes a lot of time, and it is something that is very important for the project, but it is not obvious in the main version. The users prefer to use different bugs. If you find some bug, and people can find bug just in a mere chance, if you don't test it in a common life, I cannot even imagine. You take the plane, you turn on the plane regimen, you don't close the application, and you get a lot of token. I just suggest the hypothetical example when a person can see some bonus and he says, wow, how to use it? And can I use it? If somebody finds some trapdoors, he will use it. And it is one of the reasons why it is so important to keep not a very big audience. Because in Stepan, for example, the fact that they did not remove bag of avio regimen, they inflated their audience, and it is said that I use it like this, I use it like this. And people just started using it.
And a lot of people started using it not the way it had been intended. And when you have this bucket, which has lots of holes in it, but for every because every user who's exploiting a vulnerability, they're making a hole in your bucket. And when it's turning into a shower rather than a bucket, then unfortunately, saying that the project has long life is something that doesn't happen. So for this reason, we introduced quite strict limits. We have daily limits, something else. And now, by the way, there are examples like that when users are trying to exploit something, do something not the way it has been intended, to cheat, to, swap the sneakers. You'll be surprised if you know everything that's happening there. People are trying to close the app, to go to the flight modes. They do some incredible thing. They get like a sneaker of 5th level, get into the mint, and then they call support. Like, for instance, a guy has tried to use some bug when non-5-level sneakers were added, and then as a result, the AMT is flashing, but the mint is working. So the system of transaction signing has already taken the AMT. Well, such things that are not seen but are practically happening, they happen quite often. And for us, it's important to patch all those holes before this story ramps up on scale. When roughly speaking, there was another bug. I can tell you about that. We'll fix that. When we were changing the activation system, 7 users managed to do 2 accounts for a single wallet. I'm not going to get into technical details, but at the moment when the change was happening, when the activation notice was going to both the email and you could activate in the website, the guy activated in both places for the single wallet. And then it appeared that for 2 accounts, different logins and passwords, a single wallet was used. And in both places, they were able to work. So there were 7 such users, 7 wallets, 14 accounts. Now they're all banned. Currently, the assets are not limited, only these accounts that have been created on parallel So the guy can create one account for one wallet now. And in some sense, we are grateful to them because whatever they could take from us was maybe 1,500 AMTs. This is quite an admissible price for us not to allow such things to happen. Looking forward. And there are quite a lot of things like that that we're checking that we need to disable before it's becoming a disaster. Because at 100,000 users, it could be a disaster. At 7 people, that would be okay. So it costs us $500 to close a bag. We are prepared to pay $500 to $700 for people to bring our attention to a bug that exists. I mean, a serious one. The second part of the question about launching the leasing in the market. The current model allows leasing or renting. You can use your assets and give the login and password to another person, and that's actually leasing. You have actually allowed a person to work on AMTs for your account. So basically, the leasing functionality is already there, but launching it in the marketplace so that it could be done through a contract, more likely than not, we're not going to do that. And I don't think we're going to do that for quite a long time, because first things first, whatever I've already said, then implementing the chips, then improving the chip-based system, and only then we may arrive there. But frankly, I don't believe that there's a big need that this should be done automatically. Next question. So I posted in the Instagram that I am using these sneakers. At the same time, investors and a lot of people working with you said that AMAZY is scam, and so recommending me to take my money out. I understand that this is wrong, but it's not really feels good to get such feedback. It would be cool if you could explain or substantiate what's that it's not a scam. Firstly, let's explain what a scam is. A scam is cheating, right? And if you take typical scam cases, where have you seen that a scam project would run AMA sessions after they have already scammed, according to these haters. The haters already saying that AMAZY is a de facto scam. So what is the fact? I would like to really learn that, because just going about shouting that somebody's bad is not constructive, and it doesn't make life better either for them or us. So what's the use of doing that? If a person has some specific substantiated question or complaint about the project, please, you're welcome. Come to the AMA sessions. I'm reading all the questions one by one. Why don't you just ask a question? Not just in the format of why is it scam or not scam? So we have accused you, and now please justify, vindicate yourselves. So if you have specific questions claiming that we are doing something wrong, just say it, and we could explain. So this is my plea to all haters. Please be constructive. Please explain why you believe that you're right. And most people after this statement would say, oh, Sergey's there. Sergey's a blogger, and I don't trust bloggers. And then I have a question. Is it your personal attitude towards a certain person, or do you really believe that there's something wrong with the project? If you believe that there's something wrong with the project, maybe you should specify, and maybe in that way you'll help the project to become better, if it is indeed so. If indeed there is a problem, according to you, that requires fixing, why don't you write about this? Whereas if the person doesn't understand what the problem is, but still is shouting that there is a problem, that sounds quite strange. And, explaining why the project is not a scam. Well, scam. Look how a scam works. If you take all crypto projects that have scammed, they collect money from the investors, and then they just disappear or run away, or they get the money from the investors and they go to the exchange, and then they just sell everything off without building any product. And more than that, most scammers don't build a product. They promise that they will build a product that will be doing incredible things. And like in the example of the Move and Earn projects, many projects claimed really incredible things, like a phone. You will put a phone with a camera, and the phone with a camera will be shooting you, and you'll be doing any physical exercises, any workouts, and that will be counted for you. But us as developers, we understand that the probability of this being becoming feasible is 0.0001%, no more than that. You won't be able to develop anything left. It's just technically so humongously difficult, and it requires so much work. You know, how you could recognize movements from a camera so that, well, like for instance, what stands in the way for me to just show a video to the camera where somebody is doing really cool that should earn them a lot of points? How to do it so that it couldn't be exploited, and how to make sure that it works correctly. There's no way to do that. And a project like that sells a token, sells a promise, then they don't really come up with anything, and everything wraps up. That's a scam. Let's see what's happening with AMAZY. With every AMA session, whatever we say, we do. Yes, there may be some errors, there may be some mistakes. Yeah, we may shift the time scale to the right by a week, let's say, because we are people just like you. We also have developers. And so we work quite fast. And sometimes something goes wrong. And so we're quite open, explaining, yes, that we can make errors. And so we can recognize some if it is indeed an error. Then we're saying, yes, we were wrong, and so we cancel that, like the activation system. I said that the initial one was wrong, was too difficult to use, and then we changed it. And so we built a product, we built an app. It's not perfect, but it has been launched quite recently, like 2 weeks ago, so maybe a little bit more now. But if you take a look at this time, the market has changed. The web version of the marketplace has changed. Now it's all in chess order. Actually, the number of positive changes in the app over this time have been quite numerous. The activation has changed. And by the way, there's an idea to make this information more public, information about the changes, about the future development plans, what's happening now, what's going to happen in the week, so that it should be easier for the community to understand. But nevertheless, let me bring your attention to the fact once again that we are building a product. We are building it just like we had promised. We are more or less fitting in the time schedule. Is whatever we've done, the sale of public routes, all the investors that we have attracted, they have got their tokens. Everybody who's participating in beta testing were able to purchase these sneakers at $100. All the landmarks have been passed as they have been planned. The only thing is that the community around $50,000 went through the EVA wallet. I agree that it's quite difficult. So it wasn't really an error, but this is what we did complicate. We made complicated, whatever, although it could have been done simply in a simple way. But nevertheless, everything's working. People are earning points. Everything gets out of their wallets. The users can go to an exchange and then trade everything that they have. They want to buy, they want to sell, whatever they do. There are no limitations, no restrictions. And again, it's all very absolutely transparent. So how can you call it scam? The product is being built. Everything's being traded. The developers are online. I run these AMA sessions and support response as fast as they can. Moderators in chat feeds always communicate with you. All sorts of activities are being run. And a new audience is joining. New bloggers are joining every day. Again, in the same Instagram, you can see more and more reposts and more people are joining us. And it's not only about Russia and CIS, it's the worldwide audience. Sergey is quite active in the US, and you've probably seen that other videos are being shot now. He's posting some of them in his account. Some videos have already been shot and they're being edited now. And they will be really great, really cool promo ads. You just wait and see how cool they're going to be. So all actions that we are promising, we are delivering on those promises. And if you just go through the list, item by item, then where's the scam? Where, I don't know, so that the project would not go to zero. Well, our exchange is quite good. It's a tier one exchange. Liquidity is there. We also have liquidity in Pancake. That's the only pool implemented. And we've shown, you can find some posts, pinned posts, that keys to this decentralized pool, both on AMAZY and IMT, we send it to long-term freeze. So we can't take liquidity out of this pool. Just can't do that. And we're not doing that. We don't need that. And again, all the sneakers, they're all on blockchain. You can check who's minting what, how much. For every sneaker, you can track its history in blockchain. Even if you can't do that, then all the crypto investors who are saying that they understand this thing, then perhaps they can do that. If they can do that, let them do it. And if they're going to find some errors in the public database, why don't they show them to us? And they will be able to say in a justified way that this is wrong here, that is wrong here, not the way as promised. Then okay, that will be justified. But other than that, I don't know. I don't see any point trying to explain that we're not a scam. Had it not been a scam, nobody would be talking to you right now. Your chats would have been just deleted, and that's it. What would you be doing in that case? That's the way a scam looks. Next question. Does it make sense to pump up a sneaker to level 30? What's the mechanic of the chips, and what's that's a difficult question, but I got the idea like this. Does it make a point to pump up to a level 30, or can you stay at level 20, for instance? Look, here everything depends on your goals and objectives, and the economics aspect is that it all depends on how much energy you have on the account. If you have a sneaker and two energies, there's no point leveling up to level 30 because the growth will not make a lot of sense. If you have 6 energies or more, then more likely than not, it will make sense to level up your sneaker to a higher level. I'm not sure about level 30, but much higher than had you had 2 energies. The more energy you have, the higher the level. That makes sense. And of course, once the chips are being introduced, our chips are going to be working like that. They will be blowing up all the parameters by some percentage, not only the base parameters, but all of them. Like if, for instance, you have a level 30 sneaker, all parameters will be higher because you have been pumping them up. So the chip will be adding a percentage to all the parameters that you've been pumping up. And the value of a level will go up once the chips are introduced. And also what's going to become greater is that those sneakers will become much better. Look, standard sneakers are more or less the same as the uncommon chips. But once the chips are introduced, they will give much better boost, much higher boost for uncommon sneakers. So the chips will improve the impact of pumping up. And the hypothesis that the MT farming is going down linearly as the levels pumped up, it's not so because you improve the parameters, and once the parameters improve, the MT level cannot go down. It makes sense. If, for instance, you pumped up from level 4 to level 5 and you got 10% added to MT farm, then from 21st to 22nd level, it's not going to be 10%, but less, just because the parameters themselves, the base values, will be closer to each other. So roughly speaking, the difference between 8 and 15 is about twofold, right? 8 and 15, whereas the difference between 82 and 90 is just 10%. So the growth in pharma at lower level feels much more prominently than at higher levels.
And if you say that from one account you have far more, either you increase the volume of energy or you can input additional chip into the sneakers. Is there any mechanics of burning the sneakers, not Genesis, to support, to hold the level? And it would be great in future to have some passive bonuses for Genesis. Well, let's go step by step. Any mechanics to burn the Genesis? To burn the sneakers? Yes, we will do it. We will create it. But what kind of burning it will be? When you level up to the 30 level at AMT and get the rare sneakers. So if you level up your sneaker up to 30 level, burn it, and you get some special sneaker of the first level. Again, you'll level it up to 30 level, then get a rare sneaker so that you get progress, that you get more and more progress. This is the mechanics that exists, and it is one of the ideas. Another idea is when you get a sneaker and you don't like the parameters. To change the parameters, it is also possible to burn it. You burn sneaker and you get another sneaker with standard parameters. If you are lucky, the parameters will be better. If you are not lucky, you will have worse parameters, but it will not cost a lot of AMT. If you have very bad sneaker, you just burn it. This is mechanics that we keep in mind as an idea, but I'm not sure about the second mechanics. It is just a, I would say, borderline story. And I think this, we will ask the community. We will create some questionnaire. We will pin this questionnaire. And if the community supports the idea, we will do it. If it doesn't support the idea, we will not do it. With all these mechanics, we will ask the community. If there is support, we will do it. If there is no support, we will not do it. I think it's the best variant. Second part of the question, passive bonuses for Genesis, higher profitability plus 20% or plus 1 energy. No, we don't plan it. All in all, Genesis is a collection of all AMAZY ecosystem. And I've already mentioned that we plan Genesis sneakers to NFT of higher levels. So if a sneaker at the moment is just something of move and curve, I want NFT to be not only move and curve. AMAZY is a platform where lots of different applications can be launched, and most of these applications would be in form do something and earn. It's not like do and then you will earn, but do and earn. Learn something and earn, do something and earn. play and have possibility to be among the best and earn. So that means we will add some trendy apps that are not in crypto world, and we will check whether they will thrive in the crypto world. It's a simple idea, but we need to improve everything that we have so that the skills and experience that we have we can transfer to the new projects. So for the genesis we will plan that they will have their pass to all the other projects because they are the first. It is just a universal collection and 15,000 and that's it. The idea of a collection is not that it provides you with some profitability at the moment. Check CryptoPunk, check Monkeys. There was something, there was not something like Monkey went out, they gave drops, and then they cost $100,000. Nothing of the sort. CryptoPunks, for a long time, they were not interesting for anybody. At the moment, they are not sold. It's very difficult to buy them, and they are enormously expensive. And it is just pixel picture, very simple, very small. And the genesis idea is deeper, and it's not about let's give it out to everybody. To give bonuses, we should get them from somewhere. You remember we were selling genesis for $100, and they have already farmed. They already have farmed at least $100. And if we talk about users who give them to the other users, we cannot say to these other users, kind of, bro, you sold out Genesis sneaker for some BNB. Don't you want to give some bonus to the participator? Because just for the mere fact that you sold it, it would be just strange. What will happen in the near future? In the near future? The near future. What will happen in the near month? I have no idea. Well, we have lots of plans for the near future, but for what is clear already, we are working on bags, we are improving the marketplace, we are improving chips, but for all of that, we are planning the second application. A different team deals with this application. It is a parallel work. It does not influence our project. And I think that before the end of August, we will be able to announce the second project, and probably somebody will be already able to enter it. Probably 30 to 50 people will be able to test it. And it would be the first alpha version. It would be a game. Sergey have already shown it once. But when he had shown it, it was not even alpha. It wasn't even alpha when Sergey had shown it. But the idea is there. It's a game. It's a game about some people who are fighting, pushing each other off their roofs, entertaining, nice game. And in this game, there will be a possibility to level up your hero, to buy a new hero for very small amount in AMT. 5 AMT, 7 AMT, it would be $2, $7, and there would be a leaderboard, and this leaderboard will be getting certain awards in tokens. This is what is planned for the second application, and a very valuable work on marketing with influencers, with the bracelets. There is a lot of work about bracelets and with chips. This is our main focus. Second application, game, chips introduction, move and kern work, and implementation of the bracelets. And of course, some advertising activities, you will see them all. Merch launch when it is. Well, talking about merch, I don't have all the information, so what I say to you now can differ. But as far as I know, AMAZY for merch. Well, I can be wrong in terminology, but the patent is there or the permission for the brand is there. It is there, the certificate is there. There is a line of the products that is worked through. I think it's on the stage. Something would be ordered, something would be created in place. So it is at the moment on the stage of creation, and it will not be sold at the first place. It will be given out for most active users, for bloggers, for the team, for moderators. The first part would go out like this. Then the shop will be launched, and that's why merch must be in different places so that it can be operatively managed. So that's talking about next products and their launch. The first part is a game. It's a game that will appear during a week. If I say during a week, that means that we can show, and it would be a closed alpha version. Still, we will need probably a week or 10 days to adjust it, to upload it into the stores. When 200 AMT will be sent for the delay of the opening of green box. I think it was done yesterday to everybody who had the application in support. What is the plan for the finishing for 2S farming? What do you think about that? Well, after X2, at the moment, I think it would be X1.5 before chips. Most probable during 2 weeks, there would be just some different efficiency. I think it would be something between 1.5 and 2. I think most probable is 1.5. If we check all the dynamics, we don't want to leave X2 for stable. If you think that we stopped X2, no, we didn't do X2. X2 is just a temporary solution. And this X2 has to come to X1, keeping in mind that all our economy was created with the presumption that we have chips, and it works well with chips. And this mechanics with leveling up for higher level, lots of them do not understand it because they do not see chips. I think there is some discrepancy. So certain additional efficiency for farming will appear there because chips add certain efficiency. At the moment, we do not have this efficiency, but we can create it artificially. But X2 is a lot. And I think they will sell it out and dump. So my idea is that we should go back to X1, but in X1, we should go very smoothly. And we have to move to X2 when we have all the mechanics that correctly work in X1. So I would expect next action that it will be later than X2, but more than x1. Again, it will be something between x1.5 and x2. There would be some coefficient. Well, one big idea I want to mention about x2, x3, pay attention. At the moment, lots of you, well, it is true for a person, for any person, not only about our project or any project, it's just a rule. People over-evaluate possibility of their month's perspective, and people underestimate yearly and longer perspectives. It's just a rule. When a person, if you tell a person, set a goal for a month, set a goal for a year, let's say it's sports, a person decides to have hold-ups, and at the moment he can, what he can do, he will have at the moment pull-ups at the moment 5. For a month he will set a goal for 10 pull-ups more, and like let's say 20 pull-ups for months and 25 pull-ups for a year. But for real, he will, from 5 pull-ups he will increase to 10 pull-ups during a month, and the result during the year will be more significant. Same here. You respect quick farm, quick result. I said big farm is a big problem. Big amount of users, big problem. At the moment in the project, we have a number of bugs, a number of issues. We agree with that. It would have been worse if we had said, oh no, guys, it's cool, it's perfect. It's not super at the moment. We agree with that, but it is here. If we compare with the market, if we compare that there is something different at the market, then the projects that are in some plus, in some surplus, if they show price higher than some public trades, there are only few of them. Move and current project, it can be just a copy of Stepan without any ideas. It will be just a replica, but let's be honest, you give more than 1 month, I will give you a hint. The correct answer is no. Do you want us to live less than 3 months? If you want us to live in less than 3 months, then we're in the wrong group. If we talk about other move and current projects, these are projects where only steps counting. There is no earning. There is very low earnings. And if earnings become interesting, I create for myself something that will roll my phone. It will just roll my phone. I will put some dozen or hundreds or I don't know, thousands of androids, and this rolling device will create so many steps, so many steps. I will just take the farms from these applications. So the model where the steps are counted only mathematically, because of this exploitation thing, it doesn't work. Whatever they see that they will limit cheaters, you cannot limit some device if you don't track something else. Like we track GPS and steps. It is not possible to roll it in place. You have to have some speed. I cannot create a table that walks 10 kilometers per hour and with different routes. Again, I can see that there are 30 cell phones passing the same route, or if it is a bracelet that is calculating all calories, if it is a unique situation, it's very difficult to do it. These are applications that issue tokens. So if we take a wider picture, well, it is great that there is some farm, we have market, and it's great that we speak, that we say that is better version, and we are ready to change it. And if you want us to have bigger audience, but
it's just like adding some converter that still doesn't work well. That's for 1,000 people who join, only 1% will work. Once it works, just like we planned and we want, not 1%, but 7% of these people will go through. And that's a big difference, huge difference. Somebody's saying, why did you launch at all? But please understand, you can't fix all the errors correctly unless you've got into production, because in the test network, nobody's loading you this way. Just look at your responses, your reactions. Just look at the chat feed. If something has not accrued in the test system, so what a person would say, oh, I'm lazy, I don't want to write a report. But when 2 AMTs have not been accrued in production, or the app has gone down, that will be 10 reports instead of 1. And the perception of the current status of our project, please perceive it just like a paid test. You're just earning on testing, but actually this is live money that's being traded in the network. Don't consider the current situations as a peak of the project. Everything is just being prepared for that whole story. So all these stories, like with big X's, like give us X5, X10, let the flow grow. Unfortunately, if it is done this way, everything will finish too early. You don't need that. We don't need that. Of course, if you've joined us with an idea that you will achieve a big result. So in 3 months, just think about it. Simple thing. In 3 months, how much will you be able to do, even with all the X's? Well, perhaps 4 X's at max. If you're really lucky, maybe a little bit more. But that's the maximum that you can expect. Because over such a short period of time, with all the possible problems, you just physically won't be able to earn more. Even all the more so that the market is not perfect now. So in the spring, Bitcoin was more than $40,000. Now it's 20,000. Just look at the market. The situation is not too cool now in the market. But in this situation, which is not too cool, we're still offering you an opportunity to earn something, to get opportunities. Well, firstly, to improve the project together with us, growing your assets, and just look at the project that can do something in a bad market. 95% of projects that exist now in the crypto market, including Move and Earn, they can't do anything now, absolutely nothing. Even if they can do something now, then in 3 months with their model, they will stop being able doing something. Our model is different, and our main goal, and perhaps it's yours as well, if you want to get not just X4, but some game-changing assets. So our goal, both yours and ours, is to arrive at that period when the market will improve, to survive until that moment. In any event, markets are cyclical, and after a depression, there may be another depression, even deeper ones, but then inevitably a good phase will start. And once the good phase arrives, the biggest beneficiaries are those projects that could achieve something during the bad period. So launching a project in a bad period is difficult, it's hard, it's a lot of work. But on the other hand, those who have done this work, they will be super prepared for positive periods, and they will become super beneficiaries in a good phase. So you now have the opportunity to help us fix this project, and then enjoy together with us the period when the market will allow doing incredible things. And again, the question is not about tokens offering X2, but the question will be about how much a token will be and a lot of other things. If you've seen other crypto stories, look, don't go too far. Look at X Infinity. The project that managed to go against the market in 21 in summer, all the cryptocurrency were falling, and X Infinity started growing. And then when the market started growing, X Infinity just overwhelmed the world. Why don't you think that this is not going to happen here? Just like that. So much from a big speech about X2, X3 farm. I don't know. It's either you don't understand or intentionally want the project to quickly fail. Put it this way. The next part of this question, if you remove it abruptly, the floor will crash and there will be a lot of unhappy people because the returns will go down. Yes, I've said we are not going to remove X2 overnight. We'll just make the coefficient a little bit lower. We'll make the transition as gradual as we can. It would be super cool if the assets that the users have now, if they pass from those who want to get easy bucks, if the assets go from those people who want to get as much as they can from a project, even if it fails in 2 months. So if the assets go to the people who understand that within 6 months or a year, a lot more can be done than within 1 or 2 months. That would be super cool if that happens gradually, smoothly, without negative attitude from either party. So we are going to try and be smooth. The next part of the question, when can we expect fitness bands? Well, we already answered that. Is there information about the bands that I can share now? No, actually, I don't have any information about sports bands. Whatever I had, I either shared it in the previous sessions, either myself or when Artyom and Sergey were joining. Well, I can't say that everything is super easy with bands. Sports bands is a story that will be put on top of the sneaker story. It's not a separate ecosystem. It's going to help you use your sneakers in gyms. And not only walk, but also swim and use other physical activities. It's not quite a simple process to bring all these things together. But once we have something to announce, we will do that. That's for sure. Okay. When the additional AC for Mint will be switched on, when the Mint rate will be more than 0.5. Look, the story is, if AMT starts growing fast and it'll be higher than 0.5, an additional ASIC will be added. But while AMT is 0.55, so if it's 0.5, 0.55, tomorrow it can go back to 0.49. So that's a margin that can disappear. And doing it automatically all the time, like tomorrow this way, today that way, I don't think it's going to be right. And it's not going to be comfortable for users. So if AMT is going to show a clear upward trend, more than 0.6, 0.7, then it will surely be switched on. Before 0.6, I don't think we need to do that because we're still around 0.5. So far, we are in the target area where everybody is comfortable, about 0.5. And so far, it's not clear. It's going to be 0.48 or 0.58. But if we see the positive dynamic of MT going up from day to day, we'll add more. I think we'll introduce this mechanic if MT goes above 0.6. And if it goes below 0.45, we'll remove it. So this will be transition area. So that should be like a spread, both upward and downward, because this market volatility plus or minus 10%, it indeed can be observed during a single day. And it shouldn't be right if in the same day, one guy would pay more than the other guy. What new mechanics can we see in the near future other than chips and bands? I think with the NFT burning at level 30 and going to a higher level, I think this one, as to the other mechanics. Well, I wish we could bring the already named ones to perfection. To introduce the sports bands and chips. As to anything else, well, why would we need anything else if we're not finished with these ones? Give more information to the Genesis holders. One can ask if there's bonus. Now, about the Genesis of sneakers, I think I've already said everything about them. And when the new apps will appear, once they appear, we will introduce new bonuses. So when a fully fledged game will appear, the Genesis sneaker holders will have some bonuses in this game. But because this game does not presuppose, so it's not going to have assets that will cost really very expensively. So the idea of this app is that it can attract an audience that has like $3 to add, just to add some interest, just to add new users, and to say that we're not only about move and earn, but also that we can integrate other apps to our platform. This is the main idea of the game. It'll have a bonus for those who have Genesis sneakers, but you shouldn't expect that they should be super large. The bands have the same energy. The bands now are planned as a vehicle to do the tracking, not over GPS, because in GPS we have kilometers an hour, and we get into the range in kilometers an hour. And bracelets or bands have calories per minute. So if you fit within the required number of calories per minute, then again, points are accrued to you, just like as if you walk with a certain speed. But there are subtle things about these bands. So maybe we'll use some averaging algorithm. So not every minute will be read, because for the speed, it records the speed in the moment, but with calories, maybe there'll be a sliding window or a certain time. For instance, averaging over each energy. Well, there are subtle points there. Put it this way. So we need to do some testing, and only then we'll be able to tell you how it's going to look. But the overall concept is like this. I'd like to hear information about how many accounts have already been banned for what, and how many awards have been cut for abuse. As I said, we banned 14 accounts because they connected two logins and password to the same wallet. But what does it mean, banned? We didn't ban their assets because we can't do that. And we don't need to do that. Their assets, such as sneakers on the wallet, are still there. No problems about that. But the accounts, logins, and passwords that were connected to the same wallet, they have been disconnected and they have been deleted because these persons created those double accounts intentionally. It wasn't by mistake. Well, had a person created one account, two accounts, and continued to use only one, we would keep them alive. But because they did it as they did, we just removed them. But the sneakers are still there, and the same guy can create a new account for the same wallet. So nothing terrible has happened. They've just lost some AMTs that they have earned unfairly. And I think it is quite fair because, okay, we closed the bug. As to the number of awards for abuse being cut for abuse, well, it happens all the time. If something is about a person, so the number of steps is super small. So if GPS says a good distance, but the number of steps is low, the cutting is done. But it's not just we're cutting to zero. So far, it's been quite mild, and the users may not even have noticed such things. How many awards have been cut in AMT? I don't have any information about that. We don't maintain statistic about that, but as a matter of principle, all awards can be reduced for abuse. But I don't think we've actually experienced any really important abuse. Yeah, I remember guys moving leveled up sneakers from one account to another account a week. Yes, we punish them. So like they leveled up a sneaker, so they earn some points in one account, and then they shifted it to another account. Actually, we didn't punish them because there were no rules about that. We just removed the possibility of using the same sneaker on more than one account in a single day. So, well, several hundred AMTs were earned on that, and that's, I think, they were a gift to those who found this error. When will chip farm be introduced? I've already answered this. And how it's going to happen? So a coffer mines, or there will be a box. So as you're walking, you get AMTs accumulated. Once you are going to have a large fortune indicator, you will continue a walk, and as a result of this walk, you'll have earned a certain number of AMTs and flag power. So roughly speaking, the AMTs are earned based on performance. As to the fortune indicator, luck power will be accrued, and it will be either converted to your coffer or not. The more luck power you have over the same work, the higher the probability that you're going to get a coffer. If you have a lot of luck power in the same walk, you'll get a coffer of a higher level. But for us, it's not a coffer. It's a chip box. It's a box that contains chips. And from this box, you can also extract chips of different level. The better box you get into your account, the higher the probability that you get higher level chips from it. And also, it will be possible to merge chips. So to merge several level 1 chips into a chip of a higher level. But of course, we'll explain the mechanics once the chips have been added. The next question. Will it be possible to mint sneakers with cooling for not to the account, but to the pair that has created it? Frankly, I didn't understand the question. So the question is, so that the account should not be blocked for 70 hours, but only the pair of sneakers should be blocked. In our case, both are blocked, both the account and the pair of sneakers. So the answer perhaps is not yet. But as you see, minters are coping. And as I said in the beginning, there are too many minters. That will also be a problem. So actually, my opinion is that now it all works perfectly. We now have minters. We have those who walk about and don't see any point in minting. We have boxing and sneakers in the markets at reasonable prices. So this is comfortable for those who use the app and those who enter the app, and whatever people might say, whoever might say, there's an answer to absolutely everyone. That on the whole, we are absolutely good with maintaining the AMT token. You can see that the liquidity of the AMT tokens is quite high. All this pool is in the pancake, and the LP tokens are blocked from this pool. You can't take them back. So therefore, the AMT liquidity is something that we keep sacred, and it's absolutely okay there. Everything's good with the price, I think, and the mint. If you don't look at the green ones and common ones, there's a higher potential with mint, because the difference between the floor and the mint cost is quite, mint value is quite considerable. But if you take the whole model with good parameters, with the greens, everything will turn out quite good. The fact that the sneakers are not leaving or disappearing from the market very fast, okay, look, 2.5 weeks is not too long. And of course, the market is not super live, but it's good that it is working in the format that's working now. And gradually, day by day, we see more and more trades happening, which means that gradually some growth is happening with activity, and it's already quite positive. If you would like it to happen faster, I've already explained. We are it's not like we want one thing and you want some other thing. Actually, we all want the same. We all want a lot of money being here, and so that life should be good for everyone. Just this way. Just your understanding that the maximum number of money that you get in 2 months with super aggressive advertising, and our understanding is different. And it's built on the premise that in the current market, whatever we did, however many users we get, in 2 months, we're not going to get what we would like to, and correspondingly not the same as you would like to. And our task and your task is to gain more. And if our tasks are the same, if our goals are the same, actually, a good story.
There was a very funny story when we gathered together with our colleagues from university, but I drank some beer. And as I was drinking, I couldn't drive, and we went out and we wanted to move to some other place, and only I have car and I cannot drive. So I have a friend who has a driving license, but he is a very super accurate, super precise person, and I would have no guidance not to trust him. So the first, and I started telling him, be careful here, be careful there. Look, there is a car. So during the first 2 minutes, I started advising him how he should drive, because in my internal level, I'm anxious about my car, though we have the same aim to reach the final destination. I have a little bit of more interest because I have higher risks. It's my car, but he is a driver, he is driving. And the other friend who is sitting next to me, he says, either you trust and we go, he knows, he just knows, or we stop here and we'll leave your car. And here, if you are here and if you trust, we have the same aim, we want to get to the destination, to the same destination. You just do not have this long-term perspective. And you say, well, probably I will not go, I will go on the one station and I will get out Either you trust and you have long-term perspective, or you don't trust us. And whatever it sounds, it's better to live now, not to torture each other, just not to torture each other. Either we trust each other, or we don't go. It's either or. We trust or we don't go together. I want you to accept this concept. Next. Хоче ли бити акція саме гучно, що да добити два whether there will be a possibility to get 2 boxes instead of 1 to stimulate. No, there would be no such an action. Double box is not a transparent story, because if we admit there is a chance of 2 boxes, there would be a violation of the hierarchy. You will see that there is 1 mint in sneaker but 2 babies, and there would be question if it is a bug or double box. At the moment, it's all clear. If you have 1 mint but 2 children, that's bug and it's not possible. The whole concept of double box, I don't like it. And other users in the questions said that there are too many sneakers on the marketplace and mint is not always profitable. So we should not overstimulate it. We should not overstimulate it. At the moment, in the last few days, the number of users, tokens, mints, marketplace, at the moment, I think it is all as it should be. No, it's moving not too fast, but we see certain progress and it's very good. Do we plan to continue X2 action? I have already answered this question. When the bracelets will appear, well, the action finishes X2 on the 1st of September. The AMAZY bracelets will appear closer to winter. I want to go to the swimming pool and get the AMT. We cannot promise the 100% sure terms. At the moment, we are testing actively. And we are checking lots and lots of different things. As long as we are not clear about what we're doing, we don't have very precise plan what time we do. When we understand with whom we do it, what is the precise model, how we move it, we will use it, and we will be able to talk about precise dates. At the moment, we cannot tell you precise dates. And there are no answers from the developers how much time it will take, but it is planned to do it before winter starts. Is it possible to continue the action with farm X2? I think it's obvious that the more tokens, the more farm, the more token, the more pressure. We understand that NFT project is not forever. Keeping in mind AMAZY dynamics, what is the objective possibility for it? Well, here the question is that what do you mean by NFT project, and what do you mean by not a terminal? There is a very, very thin line if we talk about play to earn or stipend, where the number of NFT is not restricted. If we talk about move and earn, it's one story. If we talk about AMAZY as a platform where we can have lots of different projects. And when we say that the same Genesis NFTs are taken from Move and Earn, and we transfer them as Ethereum collection. For example, if we regard some NFT collections such as monkeys and CryptoPunks, it is not clear if they are not eternal or not. They are really long-term and they feel well in spite of the fact that it is NFT project. So we want to start from play to earn and move to earn. And then we can transfer it into more long-term project and to come to punks, to monkeys. And it will give the participators certain benefits such as a certain access. And so if I talk about move and earn, as I mentioned many times today, it is not our task to make it very quick, to do it very fast. If we wanted to do it in a very short term, we would do it absolutely differently. We would push it all the time because it's more profitable in short-term perspective. Whatever we do is aiming our existence more than 1 year. Our task in move and earn, that project reaches more than in the year. Our task, whatever it sounds now, to survive the winter, During the winter, it is objectively period. Winter in Russia is not about move and earn at all. So our main task is to move to the warm countries audience, make bracelet and to make it function during the winter with sufficient number of things that we need. At the moment, we have 7,000 users. To add 30% more is not scary. We can get more. It doesn't sound scary, but if it was 50,000 users, okay, it is probably possible. 200,000, but well, I'm not sure it is possible. So that's why this speed that we move, is not the speed of idiots, or not because we don't want you to earn. Please try to understand. We have the same mechanics of profit. The token price is good for you and for us. Market volume is good for you and for us. It is good for you, it is good for us. Big number of users allows us to get investors' money, and the investors can sell their money quicker. If we don't do it, not because we want to make it worse. Our task is that next summer we function in this project, and our task is to add to AMAZY ecosystem a dozen of projects. Of course, not all of these projects will be successful and popular, and these projects will have their own time of possibilities, and it inevitably change and prolong the whole story with move and earn. So the potential is there, and it is long-term. But as for the platform, I think that each year AMAZY platform will become more and more valuable, more and more significant. Depending on market, there can be some setbacks, but still, it is a fundamental thing. Anyway, everything is on this. There is an audience, and there is possibility to give this audience some technical solution. These are most important issues. Bloggers are audience, work with bloggers is audience. To find the audience, yes, we can find the audience. And I think you know why we can create the project and probably understand why. So this to that, it will provide you with the effect of collection, and probably the market will be in that phase when everything will be really changed. You remember how project the XS had, and it was a lot of things that turned out to be in this good market. I think that the main growth, the main peak would be on the great market, If we talk about token AMAZY, if we talk about move and earn project, we have to check the dynamics. The longer we go now, the further we will come, and our task is to persuade the users, to persuade you that we should go slower. The slower we go, the further we'll go. If it's fast, well, in short time, you will get there. You will find some obstacle. If you go too fast, you will find some obstacle. If you go slowly, you will reach the places where it's great, and it's great for everybody. That's why. That's how it sounds. That's how it looks like. Next question. If I have three on-com, can I have 11 energies, and what I need for that? For each on-com, you have +1 energy, but with the 3 best NFTs are counted. If you have 1 RAR and 3 on-coms, you will have bonus for RAR, 2 energies, and energies 2 on-coms for on-com. If you have 1 RAR and 3 on-coms, you get energies for 2 on-coms and 1 for RAR, because RAR gives you more energies than RAR. For that, you just need to have 3 on-coms on your account. Let's discuss chips. Everybody says that it's important to develop up additional cross with big luck. We change its possibility to get AMT for chips, and this chip, as it is said, that it will give the certain additional possibilities. And what would be chips sold for BNB or MT? The chips will be sold for BNB. It is a standard market practice. That means that chips price should be no less than the one they can earn for work, but chips can just not appear. The earnings are different on different levels, so probably it's easier to buy chips with needed characteristics and put them into your main sneakers and continue earning AMT every day. end up to year of chip mechanics. If I'm not right, correct me. Okay, let's discuss it. First of all, the mechanics with AMT earning is the mechanics that is prognosed, because with AMT, the more you earn, the more you earn AMT. This mechanics is absolutely transparent. You put the chip, you increase the number of MAT that you can earn. As for chips, those who start getting chips, even in your question, it was said that it's easier to buy chip, but we do not create chips. That means that you will be able to buy these chips only from those who find them. And if it is good to put into the sneaker where performance is leveled up, will the chips be sold cheap? No, they will be sold on expensive price, especially as chips is a thing that can be united. And when you unite them, it becomes better and better. There are 6 grades of these chips. So chips is an element that it can appear or it will not appear. It gives you this dispersion.
So you can earn more or less with chips, but on average, the model is such that with the initial cost of chips is going to be more higher, even though users can evaluate chips, assess chips differently. But experience shows that a real experience offers more than the mathematical model predicts. And the mathematical model was based on the premise that by inserting a chip into a sneaker, you earn more AMTs. Well, it's actually quite sophisticated as far as the model was concerned. It was simulated in software, and the software offered a lot of different combinations. It said what cost of a chip is mathematically fair, but on average, the users offer a higher price for a chip. So the chips are for those who believe that you can get a lot of luck or super much luck. But for those who are more conservative, going like you did is probably the best way. If you're just leveling up your sneaker, why don't you chip it? You can do it, or you may not do that, but this is an opportunity for you, and the chips are going to be available. This is what I can say for sure. When will the fully fledged sneaker rental become available? I've already touched upon that. And frankly, I don't see any sense in that. What does it give you additionally to just passing your login and password to someone? I don't quite understand how you can rent out, let's say, batteries. Or how does it work? I really don't have an understanding how the battery will work. Well, let's just theorize. Roughly speaking, I understand how to rent out a sneaker, which is your main one. For instance, I have a level 30 sneaker. I put in the marketplace and say 30% of what you have done walking on it, you'll give me, and you'll keep the remaining 70%. But if a person wants to get this sneaker, a person that has 4 powers, 4 energies, well, it's not profitable for me because I would need to set some filter so that the person should have 20 energies in the account, because in that case, that will be profitable for me. But what will the guy get 20 energies in their account if they are going to rent my sneakers. If they have to rent sneakers, perhaps they're broke, they don't have the money. Then how have they got that 20 energies? And if these 20 energies are also to be rented from somewhere, then take my question, answer my question, at which rate do they rent these batteries, so to speak? How to share the profit from the battery? So many questions arise here that I don't understand how it can be implemented, even though on the whole, I understand quite a lot. How to implement a battery rental and how to make it so that it should be transparent for everyone. I don't understand that. If you have any ideas, wishes, or you have an understanding how it can work, answering the question that I've just asked, just write to me and we can reward you if your idea proves to be really good and we can implement that. But something tells me that in any event, you won't get anything better than to rent a fully fledged account. And more likely than not, the rental feature, it will not be implemented for the sneaker as a whole, but a specific sneaker, but for the account as a whole. I act as an investor, and I do that. So this account with all the energies can be rented out to someone. But if I do it this way, what's the problem for me as an investor to just share my login password? Because the assets are still mine. I will be able to change the login and password at any point in time. So the person will not have access, really. Well, they won't have access to the email or the wallet. I can change whatever I want. So there's no risk for the investor. So it appears that in this scenario, we already have the rental. Next question is about the bands. I've already talked about the band. Look, there's a second part of this question. Will internet be required for the band to work? Because not every places can have internet. Well, I don't quite believe that you can find a place without the internet, because if you're talking about GPS and internet, I would believe that somewhere in the forest you won't have internet. But whenever we're talking about sports bands and, gym workouts, what gym would not have internet? I don't believe that internet absence would be a problem for the band. Well, perhaps internet will be required to be able to track something in the moment, because we do not accept fraud. When we track everything all the time, it's difficult to keep generated the data the way real data would come. It's very difficult. So, next question, a very long one. I have 3 Genesis sneakers. Is the number of Genesis sneakers important for getting the awards? Every AMA session has this question. As I've said, that will depend on the bonuses. If the drop for each sneaker, those who have 3 sneakers will have 3 times as many drops than those who have only 1 sneaker. If it's just about access to a new app, then the question is how many users we are prepared to accept in that app. If we are prepared to accept, let's say, 50 people there, so we're launching a new game and want to accept 50 people there, shall we take? We will take those who have the maximum number of Genesis sneakers, the first 50 such people. When we want 5,000 people, we'll use a selection which has 5,000 people, and that's it. Is the speed of motion important for accruals? It doesn't, but at the edges, you can always have an error. If your speed range is from 4 to 10 kilometers an hour, so if you have 4 to 10, then between 5 to 9, most likely than not, you won't have any difference. So between 5 and 9, it will be the same. But about 4.5 and 9.5 to 10, you may have some errors. How to explain it? Roughly, the speedometer that you see on the screen is averaging the data, averaging over some time. And this is because when you're starting to walk, you're going to have to see 0 for the first few seconds, because it just collects the data to do the average, because otherwise it will be too variable. But from GPS, from the app, it can get data a bit coming a bit out of the range. So if your speedometer doesn't show you that you are out of range, then in fact, in the moment, the GPS can show you a larger or smaller speed. So this means that there's a probability that you will be earning a little bit less. So I suggest that you should stay away from the extremities of the range. Perhaps not within 1 kilometer. But again, with the GPS tracker, we have a plan to improve it. We see some errors, but improving on GPS support is not an easy task. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but so far, better keep away from the extremities of the range. Next question. I suggest that you show price additionally in dollars in the market, because BNB is not stable, or to give the user an option to show prices in different currencies. No, that's no for sure, because we are trading in BNB. What's the problem? What's your problem? Looking up the BNB rate and just do that. So no peg to the dollar. It just can't happen. And the second part of the question is that the BNB price in the market should automatically change when the BNB rate changes. It's technically impossible because we add to the contract how many BNBs are you prepared to sell. So all the prices are in BNB. We're not interested in dollars. If you need that, you can convert, you can recalculate. But on the whole, the marketplace, it works in BNB. It's just like you go to Turkey from Russia and say, hey guys, I'm not comfortable with your liras. Can you please show prices in rubles? So it's about the same thing, roughly speaking. Nobody's going to show prices in rubles if they trade in liras. Same with us. Everything is traded in BNB. If you want to have a dollar equivalent, do the calcs yourself. But the whole marketplace works on BNB. So that's the way it works. So no demand for Sprinter. Improve the yield coefficient of Sprinter. People are lazy. They don't want to run. They only want to walk. The difference should be 20-30%. I don't believe it's fair. Look, no, because 20 or 30% higher on sprinters, it's too much. Sprinters already have an accrual coefficient which is higher, whereas the cost is lower. So it appears that the sprinters have the best recovery of investment because the sneakers cost the least and earn the most. So they shouldn't be earning 20 or 30% more, because if they're going to bring 20 or 30% more, then again, hello, dear abusers. People who use the app wrongly. So roughly speaking, and it's a fact, if we come back to this mechanism that shakes something, the phone sensors are built like this. When it's shaking, even if I shake it like that with my hands, steps will be accrued. Look it up in any fitness app where steps are tracked. You shake the phone like that, and steps start building up. So if you start doing something that will give you motion with the speeds of 10 to 20 kilometers an hour, and you'll be shaking the phone, and if you shake the phone like this, unfortunately, the phone will believe that it's okay. With the fitness bands, perhaps it will make more sense. But for now, so, for instance, if a person is driving a car at a speed of 15 kilometers an hour, shaking the phone and at the same earning 5% more tokens, who is cheating whom? Well, if you ask me, I will just, I'd better go to the park at the pace that's comfortable to me, even though I do run some running in the park, and I will get the same token. But why would I drive a car with a speed of 15 kilometers an hour to get the same amount of tokens? But if it's going to be 30% more, it is likely to become mainstream, and we would not like to reward those who do such bad things. So, when are you going to offer new benefits for Genesis owners? Will you extend Pharma for Genesis owners? No, they won't. As to the new bonuses, new benefits, I've already explained. New apps arrive and we'll get drops into the new apps. So, as a matter of principle, Genesis is like a universal pass, an AMAZY pass that automatically makes you or offers you the rights of the citizen number one in our ecosystem, and whatever benefits. Well, benefits are also possible, like token drops, for instance. But in order to drop tokens, we can afford what? We can afford dropping 10 tokens. And you say, this is nonsense. What's 10 tokens? And we agree with that. Dropping 10 tokens doesn't mean anything, but we can't afford dropping more because that will affect the price negatively. So the flywheel is not rotating at such a pace that we could drop something. So again, coming back to the idea, look, you've taken a look at the CryptoPunk collection. When did it start to sell at a high rate? Well, first, it didn't cost anything. And only after a certain period of time, it got the value. And here you're asking, when are you going to offer new benefits? It doesn't sound good to me. When are you going to offer new benefits? Look, we just launched the first app less than a month ago. A month has not yet elapsed, and you are already asking about new benefits. No, it doesn't work this way, unfortunately. It doesn't work that fast. And doubling farms for Genesis is also impossible because how do you think we should count that? How should we count batteries? And what if Genesis are your batteries? A strange story. So no, for sure, no. The stats of active users, how the dynamic changes, how many users of 150, how they buy in the marketplace. I think I mentioned this. They make about 120 purchases a week, but some of them are about new users buying sneakers from old users. So perhaps 120 a day. Tell us about the conditions at which the distribution was offered to influencers. Do they have obligations as to integration with AMAZY? Yes, they do. But as part of those obligations, those commitments, I mean, I don't remember off the cuff, but they surely have a commitment to a number of integrations. But this said, how to put it? Briefly, if we don't say that we need integration, they don't do it. And if we say you need to do an integration and they don't do it, they can be stripped of a future allocation. So they do if we ask them to, for the most part. Of course, commitments are there. So we're done with this question. In the future, the app will have AMAZY and empty tokens, or will that be an entertainment app or an earning app at infinity? Or perhaps in the future, we'll only use AMT tokens in the app, but AMAZY won't be there. So in specifically the next app, only in the next, it will only have AMT, and it will be more of an entertainment app. And I've already explained its goal for us. It's just an entertainment thing where people could enter, which people could use. So it will be just be a new point to attract the audience, get the audience involved in our ecosystem. An opportunity to earn something will be there, but it won't be a play to earn app. It would be a play and earn app. So you'll be able to get some income if you get into the leaderboard. It's not just like you are doing 10 fights and earn something on that. No, only if you fight better than everybody else, you get into the leaderboard and you get an award. And most likely it will be play to earn because the list will be there, the awards will be there, but the users will be few and far between. But with time, it will be mostly a fun app. Actually, I'm not even sure you'll be able to buy digital assets. Most likely that for apps, there'll be assets within the app. If those are $2 worth NFTs, all these purchases will be done within the app rather than on the blockchain. It will be an in-game asset. If the response is good on this game, then we are going to improve it, add some other modes and do other things. But at the start, it won't be too sophisticated and incredibly complicated. Nevertheless, in the common form, not as a play to earn, this game will cover quite a large audience and will earn quite good money every week.
There is a lot of noise regarding the action X2. I've already mentioned this action X2. There would be not X2, the efficiency will be decreasing and it will go to X1, but it will achieve X1 later on. Next project plan after bracelet and game application. Well, all in all, in the fold, there are lots of different applications, including game applications. It all depends on community. If community says, well, again, it's about voting with money. If community goes and play the game, we will make another game, new game, something like this. If the community is not admiring the game, well, it is there, but nobody uses it. We will integrate some games, but in general, the main idea of the platform and applications is do something and earn. And again, I will reiterate, it's not do something for earning, but do and get additional motivation to earn. This is the main concept behind all the applications that we have on our platform. And there would be infrastructure projects such as AMAZY wallet, for example, so that we don't need to go away from move and churn, but so that we can do it through our wallet. Same with others. When the activation of new users is planned, if you pay attention, today we have already increased up to 200, and bloggers get some number of codes and people take them and activate them. AMAZY goes really well. How do estimate at the moment the situation excellent or to expected better. I evaluate it as very good, especially if we consider token courses, not to consider AZ. We expected better for AZ because I think that the project is underestimated. There is a lot of fight, and it is associated with the fact that they have some negative attitude towards bloggers. They have generally negative attitude. Don't know why, but there are no remarks about the product and project objective. I see objective complaints when person says, I have issue with the application. We set it immediately as a task. Objective claim, objective complaint is good for us. And I would love to say a very important thing. When you write an objective complaint, it would be extremely good if you do it as following. First, in your message, you find something good. Like, if you use this application, there must be something good. If there is nothing good for you, then probably it's better sell it. But if you can find something good, you should first write something good like, I love this feature and here you are good guys. It would be kind and it would be pleasurable for us and for you and for other users. And I hope you understand my point. First you write something nice and then you say, but or just, I found that in my application, and then you describe what happens. You describe the issue. And if you write something nice like, I wish you a good day, it would be kind of sandwich. Good, then complain, then good again. And the sandwich is very tasty to eat for you, for us, for all our admins who work with this. So it's, if you want to grow and develop, if you want to have this quick and nice and positive feedback, give this cycle. Good, complain, good. Good at the end, you can just say, have a good day. You know, it's nice to read it. And it's not nice to read when somebody starts pouting, just pouting. It is not nice for you even in the chat. It's not nice to be in the chat where everybody is pouting. And we removed from chat this limit, the time to expect to send the next message. You can communicate, you can do it quicker. It's all for you, it's all for you. But do not please overuse it, because if the person sends too many messages, then he will be muted. He will be just muted for a certain time. Next question. There are people who are interested in AMAZY, but we are scared to recommend it. Do you recommend your relatives and friends to enter AMAZY? And what is your opinion, how to do it correctly? So the story here is as following. You don't need to give a financial recommendation. If you come to a person and you say, invest all your money here, it is bad. Never do it. Never do it. What you can really do and it would be both good for you and for us, you can say, first of all, try to sit for 5 minutes and think about something positive, but for earnings, but for profit. I am in few chat box, and some of them pay attention to the fact that, oh dear, there are people who are not about their healthy lifestyle, but nevertheless, I walk every day. I started running, I started jogging. This is a great thing. This is a positive thing. When he needs to reach some destination, he does not take taxi, he walks there because he need to walk out the sneaker. It is not about financial thing. And if a person wants to understand what cryptocurrency is about, to participate in some fun, to do some sports, and to have possibility to earn some money, but this should not be the last money. I think it would be good for everybody, and you can communicate it to people. But if a person says, should I take a credit or invest all my money? No, talk him off it. And nobody needs it. Neither we nor you needs it. And when people invest last money, they see that their currency decreased 20, 30%. It absolutely does not reflect the situation with the project. It happens when somebody who bought a big volume, he or she just sold the big volume out. And the person who has this credit just say, it's a scam. It's a scam because the currency dropped and I lost. But, oh dear, do you think that it will be bigger every day? Check Gazprom, the huge company, huge oil and gas company. We're AMAZY and we're Gazprom. But you can check currency. You can check the curves of Gazprom. 20 up, 30 down, 30 up, 20 down. And there are also people who enter Gazprom and they say, oh no, Gazprom's come because it dropped. It evokes negative emotions when people invest money that are not comfortable for them. Well, let's speed up because we need to wrap up. I will finish all the questions. There is a big question. The main idea is to create support resource based on the voices of our users. Would be a ranking of smartphone, the GPS work of. I think we will improve AMAZY work with different phones. It better works with iPhones because they are more standardized compared to Android. So it's easier to adjust it for standardized models. As for Androids that are all very unique, it's more difficult. And the volume of adjusting is unlimited because there are unlimited number of models, because it's the model of the phone multiplied by Android version. But I hope that most of the popular models we would tailor our application. Is there a possibility that Genesis owners will have AMTX2? In Stepan, they were giving out the sneakers to monkey owners. So that were people who were not cheap. I don't understand. I don't understand what is the link between the sneakers given out to monkeys, and I don't understand what it has to do with X2, and we don't want it, and it's technically impossible. If we don't want it, why should we do it? Secondary, it's difficult. It's technically difficult. And the fact that Stefan gave the sneakers to the monkey owners, I don't understand the logic. I really don't understand this logic. I don't understand the logic behind this question. And monkeys cost $1,000. I don't remember how much they cost. The price was lower. So what? So what? I just don't understand what's behind it. Will there be something with people with limited abilities? I sent a suggestion. I think it was read. If you tag me in the official Telegram channel, I will answer. If you don't tag me, then you would not probably get the quick feedback, but most probable for people with limitations, when there are bracelets, the calories would be measured, and most probable, it will work universally. Well, it's not clear at the moment to which extent the possibilities are limited. If it's limited mobility, for example. Probably we have to leave the current profitability settings. Well, that's not important. Price drawing is not good every day, better 1 day per week. This is very strange because a person sends 2 questions. On the one hand, he speaks about leaving the current profitability, and the second question, and it's not even a question, it's an advice, and he says that we should not organize the price drawing, better choose 1 day in a week and organize price drawing. I have to disappoint this person. I don't want to offend you, but just you don't understand how lots of things work. You say there would not be activity every day, and immediately you say, I don't see the coming of new users. In the same sentence, you say that there are not many users. On the second sentence, you say, but don't invite them every day, invite them once per week. You are just contradicting yourself. If there is information when interactivity with others users would be, well, I forgot about it when there was question what is planned to do. It is planned immediately after chips, first chips, and then all this story about sharing, making marathon, inviting friends. So this mechanics for socialization is the next one after chips. Next one after chips. Will AMT token be used in other applications? Yes. In other AMAZY applications, yes. Why the application is logged out very often? Do you plan FaceID? Yes, I got you. There is such a problem. It is our task number 1. We need to avoid this problem. As for FaceID, it is difficult. It's technically difficult. It will take few weeks. Face ID is not planned, but there is function planned so that application remembers login and password, so that you can input what you have already input. It's a different mechanics, but it makes the entrance easier. Chips, I have already discussed that. Is it possible that AMT will cost $1, or do you plan to keep AMT on this level for the whole period? Well, it's probable that AMT costs $1, but current cost is very nice. And if it grows steadily, if it is 0.45, it's also good. All the stories are good here. And probably, I think there is no instruments to hold you. The only instrument, the only tool for us is to add AMAZY. But if AMAZY at the moment is cheap, we can add 100 AMAZY to Mint. But whether it holds it or not to the growth, if people mint a lot,
So I think AMT may come to cost $1, but I would personally prefer it not to cost $1 within the near future. Currently, at the current level and up to 0.7, that's the range I like very much. It's just all the pricing goes from this price range, and the pricing shows the same floor price if our floor price is, roughly speaking, about, so 400 MT will be the cost of a mint, considering all the costs. So if the MT costs $0.50, it will be $200. So the price of the sneaker is like this. But if it's going to cost $1, then the minimum cost, the minimum price of a sneaker would be $400. So it's obvious that the more affordable the entrance, the larger the audience, because those who have $400 will buy two pairs of sneakers for $200. If we cut this portion of the audience for whom $200 is the cap, for a pair of sneakers, it's not going to be good. Better to do many times rather than rarely, but once. So correspondingly, you have the same story. It's better for you when the mints are good for you. You believe the mint is good, you just do a mint, take 10 to 20% off it, and keep doing these mints throughout the entire life cycle of the app, and continuously have some percentage. And again, when you go to the MT, for a walk, the MT is about 0.5. And if this trend is like this, and it is, I believe this should be the same. Well, personally, myself in other movement arm, it was uncomfortable where I had to check the price every day. Every time when I was earning $200 for walking, I started fearing how that is going to end tomorrow, because too much. It can't continue too long. We don't have a purpose of doing this for a short term and come to an end. Different idea, different mathematics. You just have to adjust your thinking a bit. So, but we want it different. And we're explaining why different is possible. And you may agree with that or disagree. So next question. According to the sneaker recovery costs formula, well, you know what? For this question, who wrote this question with the link to the white paper and the formula? Repeat that question in the chat and tag me after the @ sign. I will respond to you how it works, because here on words, I won't be able to explain. It's too difficult. You won't understand, others won't understand, and we'll lose time. So how will fortune be implemented? I mean, won't it not happen that it would be beneficial to do 4 runs on 1 energy and potentially get 4 chips rather than 1 run on 4 energies? No, the other way around. The more you do in 1 run, the more you get luck power. The more luck power within 1 walk you have accumulated, the higher the probability to get a good box with a chip. Or a box at all. And if your luck power is low, then you will be getting nothing time after the other, or get a chip box once in 10 walks. So here it works the other way around. The more the better. The guy has some problem, and the problem is for the first time when I run the app, the first 2 or 3 minutes, nothing is being tracked. Everything becomes okay then. Will this problem be solved? Well, it will, but I, for one, hear about this problem for the first time. Perhaps yours is an outlier, and outliers will probably be handled. Well, I don't know why it happens. I admit that it could not be an app error, or it could be an app error, but because of a conflict with some specific device. As I've already said, we will keep improving the GPS tracking system, adapting it to as many devices as possible. But this is not a very fast process. I'll be frank with you. It's not a fast process. It's not quick. You can imagine. So there are lots of devices, and there are a lot of you with different devices. It's clear that there's a bug report form. If there are 300 people showing the same bug, and one person reporting a different bug, of course, we'll first handle the bug that 300 people has voted for. And one way or the other, we'll get to those individual bugs. But in any event, when bugs that 200 people have brought up, it will bring the tracking system better for everyone. Second question. If the sneakers are not repaired to 100%, but to some integer numbers, so the durability numbers are different. I don't understand this question. If you could clarify the question in the chat, tagging me, of course. The next question. There's some story about iPhone SE and that the app with GPS doesn't work very well in Crimea. I don't know. I know there are people from Crimea for whom everything works very well. So I don't think the problem is about Crimea. Perhaps the problem is about your specific device. But if you've filled out the bug report form, then it's good. And going further, it's all about the accruals going in the green channel and the yellow, not in yellow. These are just details. Please complete the bug report, and the answer is the same that I gave to the previous question. Firstly, if it is only possible, try to use a different device. It may happen that for some reasons, the problems only pertain to this particular device. There's some conflict with this device. It may be. If the problem will reproduce on a different device, then it is possible that the problem is with GPS. And if all the errors and it all matches in such a way that only the app remains as the possible source. Then, of course, we need to take a look from the app side. But frankly, I don't really appreciate the point. So there are only two bars on GPS, and only then the points are being accrued. Unfortunately, I can't travel to the Crimea, to the specific city there, and check it with different devices, how it works. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do that. So it would be nice if you tried to do that in the format that I have just explained, so that we could get a report from you. And in that event, the probability of us solving your problem will be higher, and the time will be shorter. How do you plan to fight those people who are taking the activation codes for farms so that new players can't enter and the market is keeping still? How do you plan to fight? Well, we're not planning. The whole mechanic that we use is that it's not very beneficial to maintain farms. And in some situations, it is impossible. So why should we fight things that are not beneficial? It's unlikely that people should be very active doing that. And the second part of the question, again, runs contrary to the first one. The new players can't enter and the market stays at the same place. How do you think farmers do? If the farmer has taken the activation code, it means that they need a sneaker for the account. And if they need a sneaker, it means that they'll either buy it or transfer it. But even if they just transfer it, they will still have distributed the sneaker to the new account. And had they not done that, they would have posted it in the market. And so, therefore, as to new players, I've already answered this question. Why didn't you make the AMAZY token deflationary, just like your competitors? What's the reason for its growth, considering that it's not being used or burnt in any way? Please use the white paper. How isn't it deflational? Well, there are lots of mechanics aimed at AMAZY buyback. The whole treasury is aimed at AMAZY buyback. The mint has AMAZY costs. Where do you think these AMAZYs go? Do they go to the market or where? The 300 AMTs and 200 AMAZYs are spent on the mint. Is it not a deflation? Look, the question just contains it. Shows an absolute lack of understanding of how AMAZY works, even though that this mechanic is described in one of the white paper's pages in very much detail. So please read the white paper. Perhaps it's going to be clearer to you. And the reason for its growth, even though it's not used or burnt, you just take a statement that's not used or burnt, but it's wrong. This point is wrong. The statement is wrong. Next one, not clear about the culture benefits. The culture benefits are that you can run in it and walk in it, and that it increases the coefficients. But if you don't see the culture advantages, sell a culture to those people who see those advantages and buy Sprinter that costs less. It appears that you cheat the system if you believe so, but other people believe differently. In one of the articles, I saw that as one of the anti-inflation tools would be a payment for customization. Tell us what it is. So, for instance, a person wants their sneaker have some inscription, or they would want their sneaker look differently. So for them specifically, something can be done with the sneaker and it will be shown differently. Over that, they will have to pay in AMT. The sneaker will change the look, but it will not change how much tokens it offers. So that's why it's fight with inflation. Part of the tokens have left the system because the user has spent them. But in exchange, they have got only some visual effect. But it will not be just like developers have started to do something manually. It'll just be a kit where some options can be changed. It's not a quick mechanic, but theoretically it's possible. Can I be an AMAZY ambassador for Kazakhstan, Almaty? Yes, of course you can. I don't quite understand what you mean by being a full-time ambassador, which wasn't the question, but why not? What's the cost of repairing 1% of wear and tear? Does it depend on the level? Well, of course, the cost of repair depends on whether it's a common, uncommon, or rare. The higher rarity, the higher the cost of repair. Also, for every level, repair becomes more expensive. The higher the level of your sneaker, the more expensive it is to repair it. This is how it works, based on the rarity class and the level of the sneaker. The rarer, the more expensive. How is it possible to assess the X2 promo for Genesis? Probability 0. It's not going to happen. The high costs of level up and repair offered some uniqueness to the project compared to Stepan, and gave us some hope that it will be longer. Don't you believe that following the community, you will lose this uniqueness? You said yourself that AMAZY needs unique level up mechanism, and now everybody is doing performance. Well, look, I agree with one portion of the comment and can now comment on the second one. The fact that the high cost of repairs compared to Stepan, for instance, and other projects, it is still high. The fact that a lot of people are leveling up on performance, the only reason for that is that the X2 promo and the cost of repair for Pharma and T was X2. But so this is just tempering. But looking forward, even though we have reduced the repair cost, still our repairs are much more expensive than in other projects. So globally, we have not changed the model considerably, but they said it is very difficult. It becomes very difficult, rough. So the project should be on the same wavelength with the community. And however much I would want that all the community should think just like the user who's asked this question, should understand that this is the uniqueness, that this is the big boon. But nevertheless, well, there was another point there. People were buying the sneakers more expensively than it was meant to, because we're not controlling the market. We just sold all the sneakers, and users decided to start selling them for 2 BNBs and even higher. So the users started to sell them at $700. Other users started to buy them at $700. And it appeared that a person who's bought a sneaker for $700 that we had sold for $100. So the return on $100 is great. But what can you say about the return on a $700 worth sneaker? So it appeared that quite a big resonance followed the negative feedback from those people who purchased the sneakers expensively, saying that the return time, expected return time, would be measured in years. And so all the return model that we used was based on the 8.8 parameter for the regular sneaker. But on average, the sneakers don't have 8.8. The average stats are lower, 5.5, 6.4. So the base here is now lower on sneakers, and making adjustments to this, or adjusting it to this baseline, we made a conclusion that if we reduce the cost of repairs by a third, we're not going to give up on our model. We will just adjust it. So firstly, we proceeded from the 8.8 parameter, but considering that for most users, the parameter is not 8 and 8, we reduce the cost of repairs by a third and the cost of upgrade by about 20 to 25%. So the cost of upgrades and repairs does not affect the economic model for the long term. And for the short term, we offered the X2 users, offered the X2 capability to users who purchased the sneakers at a high cost. But at the same time, we took those people who wanted to cheat us. We took money from them and gave them to the money who were cheated by the people who were selling sneakers to them at 2.5 BNBs. So if you're following me. So the problem is that everybody quite gradually had to be shifted to a situation where everybody should like everything. We can't say, like, you bought it at $700. I mean, you're not interesting to us. This is your problem. We can't say that. But we can't say either that you have purchased at $700. Let's try and find $700 and award you for that. So neither the first thing nor the second thing is possible. So we should be flexible, but not too flexible, lest we break. So therefore, the measures that we've taken are those that allowed us to go half of the road towards the community, but not break the model. So it's a story where some people are saying one thing, others are saying an opposite thing, and we have to be flexible because all of them are important to us.
There is a long-term questions about trust. We do not plan to turn on Trust Wallet. I'm tired of writing to the support field in the form. About trust, we do not plan to start Trust. It's a different wallet, different integration. I just don't understand what's the problem to install MetaMask. I don't understand. Most of the users do not see any difference between the Trust or MetaMask. If it is so important for you to use Trust, what's the point? What's the point? If there is our own wallet, we will integrate, but it is a very long-term task. It's far away, and we will probably create our own wallet and we will not integrate others probably. The history is not seen well. The story is not reflected. The speed can knock out. When are you going to work normally? I would love to remind you, it's a beta version. It was published not more than 20 days ago. We are collecting the feedback. We are trying to improve it. We know that there are issues with stories, with the knockouts. We know about it. We know that you send same report from one account 20 times. It is still one report. If there is another user who sent this claim, unfortunately or fortunately, nothing changes. I mean, it's the same report, and the importance is the same. And if the story is not reflected, it's a very common request, and we've worked on it. That's what we are working on. It's one of our priorities. So as soon as we have possibility, we will start it. How long the company will have stable profit if it is calculated as 30% from investments? But frankly speaking, you want minimum 30% And in the same sentence, you say that stability and 30%, stability is 2% Coca-Cola gives per year. This is stability. It's stability. But if you say at least 30% per month, you have to understand that it's not about stability, it's about volatility, and there is certain fun in it, but you should not think about the guarantees, you should not ever think about stability. If you say minimum 30% per month, you should forget about the guarantees and stabilities. All your capital, the distribution of your time, money, should go probably that 80% of your capital and time you dedicate that you're stable, that is stable and guaranteed, but you would never have the 30. But the other part, you will spend. But there are no guarantees. In the second point, 30% per month audience growth. To say that it is stable, no, it cannot be. It can be less than 30%. It can be 50% someday. It is kind of a story. One day you are loved, tomorrow you are hated. The day after tomorrow you are loved again. It's market, there are many factors. For example, we agreed with a new partner. If you're on some stock market and you get better possibilities. If it's months when you do not have this possibility, let's forget about stability. To have 30% of users you just put 7,000 and you multiply 1.3. 9,100. Is it possible? 11,800. Possible? Yes, possible. 15,000 in 3 months. Possible? Yes. Okay, let's push these buttons. And that's more than real. This is more than real. 400,000 users, it will be more than 1 year. Everything that's up to 500%, it's more than real. Without exceeded ambitions. If the ambitions are exceeded, Axel had 2 millions at some point of time. Where we have 2 millions. Axinfinity, they didn't have so many bloggers. So in certain situation, 2 million. 5,000 users, it's reality. By numbers such as 15,000, it's not difficult. Next question. Why do we need to level up stickers if repair becomes more expensive? Well, this is a strange question. We pay for repair less. If you don't see the point to level up the stickers, don't level up. Whether it be the possibility to rent the sneakers, I've already answered this question. Why the payment are delayed according to the competition? Which competition? What is delayed? I just don't understand this question. What is delayed? Where delayed? What delayed? competition. What do you mean by competition? Was there some date? I just don't understand how you understand that they are delayed. If you are the image, if you are the winner of the competition and you are expecting for your prize, then this you will get it. Will you get everyday payment? No, no. Most probable one day there would be some responsible person and during a week he will calculate these prices. Just sounds strange. I'm just surprised when people who win in the competition, they send a message why there was a delay in present. Well, I can understand if somebody forgot about you. Our competition goes less than 1 week. I already forget all these activities, but it doesn't go. But you couldn't have earned it 1 month ago. If it was 2 days ago and you still haven't got it and you already asked this question, for me it's strange. It's strange for me. If it's not strange for you, well, I just don't know how to deal with it. It's not, it's not your some salary, I would say. The last few days, I see the decrease of AMT counting. There were some key changes, or was it the bug? No, there were not any changes. You have co-chair, and that means that theoretically you can be in some other speed range, and in different speed range you will have different calculation. This is normal for co-chair, but if you think that you were in the same speed range, if you think that the signal was as strong, you can fix it with a screenshot. We will check it. It is the first beta version, and I understand that from our side there can be some bug. Please do understand that bug can happen. It's okay. And we understand that we have bugs and we are ready to correct them. We want to do it better so that everybody is better, everybody is comfortable, so that it's more convertible. But I just don't know. There was no changes. And as for bug, it can be and it can be not a bug. Check it. If it was all the same, write to us and we will control it in our internal reports. But if you look for possibility, if you think that probably the speed was different, then probably you will be able to say it. Will chip be give bonus in percentage, or will it be progressive? I don't understand the question, but chip will give bonus in percentage from all the parameters that exist in the sneaker. We have base, we have something that you leveled up. For example, you have 100 performance and you have plus 15 performance. So if it is 100 plus 15, that means it would be 115. If you level it up to 200 and chips is still 15, then chips will be giving you 30 because 15% from 200 is 30. I hope I answered your question. And have you thought about partnership program and bonus for inviting new participators of the project? Well, nope. Not that we haven't thought about it, but it would be just bad. It would be absolutely bad. It is just very, very bad. I don't understand if you understand it or not, but it will be really, really bad. It's it will become just the story where you bring person and you give the payment, and this is very bad. So no, definitely not. It all depends what you mean. It all depends what you mean. So if you say that you can call another person in the project and you will have additional coefficients, we mentioned that there can be groups, the partnership program. If you create the society in your town, if you meet and you get some bonuses in tokens, or you get some account where you have certain activities, to have this kind of promotion, some promoters account. Yes, this is possible. Organization of some events at place, local societies, whether it would be beneficial, yes, it will be beneficial. But if you spend $200 and if somebody spends $200 and you get 500, it depends. So creating new societies, if it gives you some money, it gives you money because you develop society, not because the person spent the money. The idea, the sense, it was the last question. And here we stop our 3 hours session. I thought it would be faster, but nope. It didn't work faster. Okay, that's it, I think. That's it. I'll just quickly check if there are some more interesting questions that are very important. That was sent to me. Oh, well, one more good news. Probably we will soon have listing. Yeah, I postponed this good news. The good news that I postponed. When do you plan to create peer-to-peer in AMAZY? AMAZY will be integrated into it. And the token will be there in the game. We didn't plan peer-to-peer. So all the rest is just senseless. We didn't plan to make peer-to-peer. If you're talking about internal wallet and decentralization, then it's DEX. It's not peer-to-peer, it's BEX. In the application, it is possible. It is possible, but only after the wallet is created. And keeping in mind that we have to audit the wallet, and keeping in mind that recently the Solana was broken. So at the moment, there is a huge attack on the wallets. So to make a wallet, it takes at least 2 months, at least 2 months. This is an adequate time to develop. I thought from the safety point of view, it's not very fast. We can take some basic solution, move it over there, here, it will not be safe. So good solution is at least 2 months, DEX, 1 more month. So to create a wallet and DEX is at least 3 months. And we still have loads of tasks. And it is also about the fact that people, all the people, they overestimate their short-term perspectives and underestimate long-term perspectives. You ask often about the 1 month perspective, and I tell you that 1 month perspective from what we can really do would be this, and that, and it's not a lot. And they say, where is the marketplace? And all that is during the year, will be done during the year, but it's a year. But we have only 20 days. In the long-term perspective, where to grow AMAZY, why do we need token? We can make wallet, we can add DEX, add more applications, integrations, bloggers, somebody for location. And there are lots of variants how to develop.
And also thank to you, thank to the community, thanks to what you're writing. There are a whole lot of ideas. Unfortunately, 80% of them are not realistic, but I'm still thankful to you for offering them. But 20% of your ideas, they're super cool. I like them very much. So when you're coming up with some ideas, I really love them. Once again, reminding you that please, when you are writing up an idea, a claim, a complaint, an error, a message, please find something good, note something good about us, and then write about your problem. And at the end, wish everybody a good day. In this format, is going to work much more productively, and our communication is going to be much more pleasant for all the new users, and it will also close the question of attracting the new audience in some sense. And what else? What else did I want to ask you? Yeah, please use the chat and try from time to time, write something good, just to keep the guys' spirits. I mean, the moderators, the team, whatever happens, however much people hate us somewhere, in any event, we're not going to disappear. We're not running away. All of us are actively participating in the chats. We are continuing to work, to develop, try to look at these things through the lens of what good you have seen, and try to mention that in the chat feeds. This will improve the spirits of the entire team, and this will also bring up the probability of you getting answers to your questions, because when you're doing something positive, of course, we want to do something for you to help you. But when you're writing a complaint saying, why did I not get the award for the contest? Well, frankly, I don't really feel like helping you. So no offense, it's just my own perception. And I'm sure many people feel it the same way. And a lot of other people who are entering the chat, when they see positive things, they will too be more positive. So at this note, I suggest that we wrap up. So thank you very much, all of you, for having been with us till this moment, especially if you've been with us for the whole 3 hours. So have a good night and good luck.
AMAZY is a fitness app that allows users to earn tokens for doing daily activities such as walking or running outdoors. To track movement, the app uses both GPS tracking and a step counter on your phone. The tokens you earn while moving are cryptocurrency, and they can be exchanged on stock markets for other cryptocurrencies and for cash. To use the app, you have to purchase a virtual NFT sneaker. NFT is a modern digital standard that confirms ownership of a specific virtual item in the blockchain to a particular user. There are 4 unique types of sneakers. Ranger, suitable for slow walking and lets you earn tokens while moving at 1 to 6 kilometers per hour. Hiker. These sneakers are for fast walking or jogging when moving at 4 to 10 kilometers per hour. Sprinter. Running sneakers that earn tokens while running at 8 to 20 kilometers per hour. Coacher. Universal sneakers that earn tokens at any speed you move from 1 to 20 kilometers per hour, but unfortunately, they are extremely rare. Also, there are 5 rarity classes: common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. The higher your sneaker's rarity, the more tokens per unit of time you can earn. There is an energy bar on your account. After purchasing your first pair of NFT sneakers, you will have 2 units of energy, which are regenerated every 24 hours. Generally, 1 energy burns up every 5 minutes of movement. For example, using your 2 energy will allow you to earn rewards for 10 minutes per day. The more sneakers on your account, the more energy per day you get, which means you can spend more time being rewarded for doing physical activities each day. You can withdraw and sell the tokens you earn, or you can spend them to create new pairs of sneakers or level up the existing ones. When you reach a new level, you can get points that can be allocated on upgrading the characteristics of your sneakers. Performance affects the number of tokens you earn per unit of energy spent. The higher this attribute, the more tokens per unit of energy burnt. Fortune. The higher the fortune, the more likely you are to get a box for walking or jogging, and the more valuable the reward in that box can be. Joy. Joy is the amount of time it takes to burn 1 energy. The higher the joy attribute, the faster you burn 1 energy. For example, with joy below 50, you will burn 4 energy in 20 minutes of walking. If joy is higher, you will burn 4 energy in less than 20 minutes of activity. Durability. This is the durability of the sneaker. The higher it is, the less you will have to spend to fix it. You can buy sneakers from other users and use them for running, or make a mint from 2 shoes to get a 3rd unique option. The number of mints is limited to 7 times. AMAZY's mission is to introduce people to blockchain technology and the world of cryptocurrencies in an accessible and playful way. It's aimed at improving the level of education, health, and happiness in the world. AMAZY is the new standard in the move and earn direction. Subscribe to our social media and download the app.